The following is a presentation of The Day.
A beautiful night for baseball here at Dodd Stadium, and it's time for the ECC Championship in baseball. The number 1 seed, Woodstock Academy Centaurs, the number 2 seed, East Lyme Vikings, and all the action is brought to you live on Game Day. Game Day brought to you by Foxwoods Resort and Casino. Visit foxwoods.com to find out about all the new and exciting events planned this spring. Foxwoods, for the wonder of it all. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, the wily lefty, former stud, coaching legend. The accolades go on and on. Outstanding teacher. Highly proficient in English. I mean, I could keep going. Jeff Joyce, welcome, and thanks again for joining us here in the ECC Championship.
Hey, thanks, Case. It's good to be here. What better way to culminate the week than coming down to Dodd Stadium and watching the two best in the ECC get it on.
Yeah, these two teams have been the best all year long. East Lyme, the winners of Division I, Woodstock, the winners of Division II. And they've been pretty much the top two teams unchallenged for most of the season. East Lyme has had the better of it when the two have played each other. And in this one, East Lyme perhaps with the advantage on the mound. We'll talk about that moving forward. But let's give you the starting lineups for tonight's championship game. First, for the visiting Vikings of East Lyme, head coach Jack Biggs brings in a senior-laden lineup. Leading off, the center fielder, senior John Bureau. Batting second, the right fielder, junior Connor Tukey. On the mound, batting third, the senior Gavin O'Brien. Batting fourth and doing the hitting, the designated hitter, junior Alex Dreyfus. First baseman Peter Sherwood bats fifth. Shortstop Owen Elmer, another senior, bats sixth. At catcher, Quinn Calloy, the senior, batting seventh. Liam Cochran, out in left field, bats eighth. He's a junior. And senior second baseman Blake Biggs rounds out your nine. Dreyfus will be hitting for Joseph Wainwright, the senior who will play third base. For Woodstock Academy, they'll have Max Karate, the shortstop, sophomore leading off. Eric Mathewson at third base. Brady Erickson, the fab sophomore, at first base. Marcus McGregor in left field. Riley O'Brien on the mound, batting fifth. Carter Morissette at second base. Keon Lamarche is the right fielder. Murphy in center, and Graham behind the plate. Your first pitch from Riley O'Brien is wide and high. Ball one to John Bureau, the center fielder, leading off for the Vikes. Sails high, 2-0. Bureau has been very hot of late, leading what has become a much improved East Lyme offense. There's a good fastball in for strike one.
Last two nights, Case. Bureau's led off the game with doubles down to the left field line to start the Vikings.
2-1 pitch, slider in on the hands, ties them up, evens the count at 2. One thing that's a little different here at Dodd Stadium, the ball carries much differently than it does at most high school fields. The 2-2 pitch, fastball misses outside, and good velocity here from O'Brien, but he runs the count full. Bureau doing his job as the leadoff hitter. Ball does not carry to both gaps equally. 3-2 pitch, fastball high, and Bureau draws a leadoff walk here in the first.
And the thing about this park, Case, is it's so big that, you know, nobody's really going to lose one here. But if you can get it into the gap, it will roll a long way.
And the gaps are big because the field is big. And so the challenge is, as an outfielder, right, to step up and play and cut off those gaps, because as you say, that's a lot of room out there.
Yeah, you may even want to pinch the gaps a little bit just to eliminate that.
Connor Tukey, right fielder, batting second here for East Lyme, and he takes a ball up high.
Especially with a team like East Lyme, too, because they are gap-to-gap hitters. I know when O'Brien comes up, he's a left center field gap primarily.
Throw over to first base. Bureau dives back safely. The catcher for Woodstock, only a sophomore, Tanner Graham. Excellent defensive catcher. Throws it pretty well. East Lyme will test him, though. They like to run strategically. 1-0 count on Tukey. Ball 2 up high, and O'Brien has gone 2-0 on each of the first 2 batters of the ballgame.
You see O'Brien's approach, too. He's really working away here.
2-1 pitch, ball 3 up high, and I think you're going to see Tukey taking a strike here, trying to get a couple guys on in front of their big bopper, Gavin O'Brien. 3-0 pitch. Right down the chute, strike 1.
Biggs deciding to go with the left-handed hitter in the 2-hole today. Might want to see a little hit-and-run action a little bit later in the game.
3-1, pitch that I like to run on. O'Brien thinking the same thing, fires over. I know the strategies differ, but if I have a hitter in the 2-hole who has good plate coverage and good plate discipline, I love running 3-1. Give him a chance to, it's almost like a power hit and run.
Absolutely.
And
good
defensive swing there, yeah, got in on his hands. And full count, 3-2, and I'd be shocked if we don't see Bureau off and running here.
See if he lengthens that lead a little bit.
Riley O'Brien, the junior, comes to the set.
Yep.
Bureau dives back safely. Full count. There goes Bureau. And the pitch sails high. Ball 4. And the first 2 batters of the game are on for East Lyme in front of their big senior power hitter, Gavin O'Brien. O'Brien with a chance to help his own cause here, as he is also the starting pitcher. Woodstock will bring Brady Erickson up on the infield grass, which I'm not exactly sure why, because if Gavin O'Brien squares the bunt here, I will run down, tackle Jack Biggs in the dugout, and take away his coaching.
No chance that's happening.
Breaking ball, and he hung it, and O'Brien saw it, but he swings through it.
And that's how you're going to get O'Brien out. He likes to get on that front side, so you want to soften him up a little bit. It's a little anxious, as most of these Lyme hitters do.
0-1 pitch. Slider, great spot, strike 2. That was a good pitch from O'Brien. Feels a little bit like St. Patrick's Day. It's O'Brien versus O'Brien here in the first inning.
I would come back with that same pitch on the outside half, though. Looks like they're going to go up with a fastball, though. Better miss up.
0-2, fastball high. And you know how I feel about the high fastball. Unless it's going to be either, front elbow or at the letters, you might as well just say change the count to 1 and 2. It's got to have a purpose to it.
Exactly.
So you're going to see him come back. Now, obviously, the purpose is to come back slider here.
Right.
But I don't know that really effectively changed his eye angle because it wasn't even close to the zone.
Yeah, I'm not a big proponent of throwing up. Like you said, Casey, if you're going to throw up, you better come in. And if you're not going to do that, then you might as well just throw soft stuff away.
Yeah, the idea behind elevating a fastball is to either generate a swing and a miss or to, quote-unquote, change the eye level of the hitter. But once it's above your letters, you're not changing their eye level because they can immediately dismiss it as a potential strike.
Yeah, and Gavin's 6'4" anyway, so
that's a high fastball.
Yeah.
The pitch, breaking ball, high fly ball, deep left field, carrying, and it bounces in front of the wall. McGregor couldn't get to it. Bureau had to wait and hold up and see it, and that right there is the longest single in the ECC this year.
That was a 340-foot single.
The designated hitter, number 24, Junior Alex Dreyfus.
So exactly what East Lyme wants here in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody out for the designated hitter, Junior Alex Dreyfus. He hung the slider, and O'Brien hit it. We said the ball doesn't carry. That one carried all the way to the track. Now, left fielder McGregor is normally their third baseman. And he went back on that ball really well, but you could see he got a little lost as he got to the wall.
Yeah, a little inexperienced out there in left. Good pitch.
Good pitch, evens the count at 1. Riley O'Brien, the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball stays high and outside. 2-1.
East Lyme's offense shown a little more patience this game. They've been very aggressive in the other contests, first time through the lineup, jumping on that first pitch.
The 2-1. Fastball rides outside, and Dreyfus in the hitter's count, 3-1. Bases loaded. East Lyme looking to make something happen here at the top of the first.
Oh, O'Brien is trying to do a little too much right now. He needs to pitch at 90%. He's flying out of his mechanics. That's why the ball's sailing on him. Opening up that front side. Stay within that left shoulder. Get everything down.
3-1 pitch is outside. Ball 4. Bureau will come in with the first run of the ball game on a bases-loaded walk to Alex Dreyfus. And that'll bring up the first baseman, senior Peter Sherwood. And we're going to get a visit out to the mound. Brian Murphy will go and have a chit-chat. Now, Woodstock has ridden their pitching for the most part all year, and they have as good a 1-2 as there is in the league. Brady Erickson, their first baseman, the big sophomore left-hander, not the ace of the staff. The ace of the staff is Caden Murphy, who has been lights out this year. A great right-handed, left-handed combo. And after that, they've got a bunch of arms, of one of which you're seeing now in O'Brien. Similarly, East Lyme has had Dreyfus as the ace all year, but with Stosky and O'Brien, they've had a complement of guys, and it's these ECC championship games where we always see the fifth arm and or the JV guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Breaking ball in for Sherwood, strike 1. So if East Lyme can break through on O'Brien, it'll be interesting what Woodstock has behind that.
Yeah.
Good swing by Sherwood. He was right on the breaking ball, fouls it off, 0-2.
O'Brien throws a real nice tight slider. He's got to stay out of the middle of the plate. Go away maybe if you're going to come back with that pitch.
This pitch should not be in the strike zone. 0-2. High fastball, got it by Sherwood. Big strikeout, much needed first out.
And that's exactly the kind of high fastball, Casey, we're talking about. Come up and in.
Well, that's the right. That got the swing and the miss. It had a function to it. It had a purpose, and it got him the out. Owen Elmer, the shortstop, number 6 hitter, into the box now for the Vikings. Breaking ball in the outside corner. That's a great pitch.
That's a great spot. Seems like O'Brien is using the confidence, the momentum off that last strikeout.
Breaking ball outside. Nice job by Graham sliding over to corral that. Evens the count at 1. One pitch to Owen Elmer. Fastball high, 2-1.
It's a good take. If I'm Owen, I'm looking for something middle in, something I can turn on.
Breaking ball outside. That's a tough pitch on 2-1. Now you're behind 3-1 with the bases loaded. That shows you O'Brien not confident in his fastball location right now. He had more success with the breaking ball. 3-1 pitch to Owen Elmer. Fastball fouled out of play to the right. Count goes full 3-2, and a big pitch here, a big moment for Riley O'Brien.
Absolutely.
Fastball line to center field, sinking fast. Murphy on the horse, can't get it. It's past him, and that's going to clear the bases. Dreyfus right on the heels of O'Brien, and the bases clearing triple from shortstop Owen Elmer puts the Vikings on top 4-0.
This East Lyme offense is really clicking these last 2 games. In the last 6 innings, they've thrown up 19 runs thus far. And as we all know, hitting is contagious. And like we were talking about earlier, Case, you get that ball in the gap, and the center fielder makes a gambling dive, gets by him, and off to the races the East Lyme base runners go.
Great base running that time as Dreyfus was right on O'Brien's heels. Killoy in now, the catcher, batting 7th, runner on 3rd. And he lines up, base hit down the right field line. That'll score Elmer. 5-0 Vikings. Couldn't have got off to a better start here in inning number 1.
That's great hitting. Inside out. Punches it right down the right field line.
That'll bring up junior Liam Cochran, the left fielder, batting 8th. Still only 1 out, and looks like Woodstock's going to get some action down in their bullpen. O'Brien from the stretch.
Nice
Fastball
spot.
outside corner, strike 1.
At this point, it's just damage control.
Oh, 1 pitch from O'Brien. Breaking ball stays high and swung through from Cochran, 0-2.
Got a little lucky there. Elevated the slider.
The 0-2 pitch to Liam Cochran. High fly ball, right center field. Murphy settles underneath it, makes the catch for the 2nd out, and Killoy will retreat back to first.
The second baseman, number 5, senior Blake Biggs.
Blake Biggs stepping into the box. The second baseman, senior, will represent the 9th man to hit here in inning number 1. And O'Brien got himself into some trouble with the walks, and then, of course, the towering fly ball single from O'Brien. And then timely hitting has the Vikings up 5-0 here in the first. Breaking ball, little looper.
Looks like that's going to drop.
Tough play, and it falls just foul. Neither Erickson nor second baseman Carter Morissette could get a beat on it. Traditionally, that's the second baseman's ball if he can get there. But Erickson, 6'5" and a fabulous athlete, also a center fielder by trade, went after that like a first baseman, and he should have gone after it like a center fielder.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Biggs sends his runner.
Fastball peeled foul, 0-2 on Biggs. Oh, 2 to Blake Biggs. Killoy leads off first with 2 outs. Fastball high, 1-2.
Now, even though Biggs didn't swing at it, that's still a really good pitch. He just didn't bite.
That's the front elbow eye changer.
Yeah.
You got to expect to come back now breaking ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have someone who has a good changeup, I like changing speeds off of that pitch too.
I agree.
Because it comes out looking like a fastball. 1-2 pitch, big lead from Killoy. Breaking ball hangs, and Biggs fouls it down the right field line again. Stays 1-2.
O'Brien really needs to stay on top of that slider. He's kind of casting it a little bit, keeping it up in the zone.
The 1-2. Breaking
Good
ball
block.
in the dirt. Evens the count at 2-2.
Textbook block, way to move the guards. Glove down, slide over. Keep that runner at first base.
2-2 pitch to Blake Biggs. Foul ball down the right field line, giving chase and out of play.
Good
It'll
effort.
remain 2-2. Lamarche did a nice job tracking it, but ran out of room.
Two, you want to come with your best pitch.
I don't know if he knows what his best
I was
pitch
just
is
going to
right
say,
now.
I'm not sure what that is this inning, but you definitely want to come with your best. Maybe that slider.
2-2. Breaking ball lined into the gap. It's a base hit, and it splits the gap. Biggs easily into second. On his way home, Kaloy, the throw is high, and the Vikings have an additional run. It is 6-0.
Great base running by Kaloy. Green light right from jump. Good at bat there by Biggs. Driving that slider into the right center field gap. Put himself in scoring position here now for the top of the lineup. And the dangerous John Bureau up to bat.
That's a good swing from a 9-hitter, lining that into the gap.
Absolutely.
6-0, and the order turns back over here now to Bureau. Fastball on the outside corner, strike one.
I like this kid a lot. His stroke is nice. Simple, compact, the inside out's the ball.
I played baseball. A strike, nice slider, 0-2. His father, Paul, played in my men's 35 and older league with me, was a fabulous third baseman. His nickname was Pops because he was like 70 years old, still playing third base. Swing and a miss, strike three, and finally we are out of the top of the first inning. But not until the Vikings make a broad statement. 6 runs on 4 hits and 1 left as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Vikings all over the Centaurs, 6-0.
Taking a look at East Lyme defensively to start tonight's game. In the outfield and left, number 2, Liam Cochran. Center fielder, number 4, John Bureau. And in right for 6, Connor Tukey. In the infield.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
6-run top of the first inning has East Lyme out to a fabulous start. The Vikings 19-3 on the year and have been playing very good baseball outside of an odd loss 5-1 to Waterford. Their only losses on the year were 2-1 to South Windsor, a team that I saw with Bacon Academy. South Windsor, very good baseball team, and their other loss 3-0 to Guilford, also a very, very good team.
Absolutely.
So you look at your 3 losses, and you're all to highly reputable teams, including Waterford, which is a rival and the premier baseball program in the state. So a 19-3 season for East Lyme. If you look at the 3 losses for Woodstock,
Woodstock Academy.
2 of them come to East Lyme.
Absolutely.
And their only other loss was to Ellington, who's another team doing very well in the state as well. So
And those losses to East Lyme, too, were significant losses. Those weren't close games.
no, East Lyme had their way with them both times. Gavin O'Brien, first pitch of the game, fastball just high to Max Karate, the shortstop. Only a sophomore in there leading off for Woodstock. 2-seamer in for a strike, evens the count at 1-1. And the goal right now for Gavin O'Brien is strikes, strikes, strikes,
Absolutely.
strikes.
Absolutely.
The 1-1 pitch. Got underneath a breaking ball that time, and count goes 2-1.
And the thing too is, don't bring anything out of your pocket that you don't need to. Just stay with the, if the fastball's working, stay with the fastball.
With a 6-0 lead, I would throw nothing but fastballs until further notice.
Yeah. I may even underhand it up there.
Pound the strike zone.
Absolutely.
Underhand would work as well. Lined into the gap.
Good stroke.
That ball is going to get into the gap and all the way to the fence. Rounding second and pulling up there is Karate with a leadoff double for the Centaurs.
Nice stroke. Inside out's the ball into the left center field gap. That's a sign of a natural hitter right there.
It's going to bring up the third baseman, junior Eric Mathewson.
Junior Eric Mathewson.
Woodstock has the capability of scoring runs. They have a good early part of the lineup. Now they have struggled at the bottom of the lineup.
Absolutely.
So with a lead like this, O'Brien, should be pounding the zone. But later in the lineup in particular, 7, 8, 9, he's really got to go after LaMarche, Murphy, and Graham.
Yeah. Because their big three are as good as any in the conference.
You got to be careful with Erickson. You got to be careful with McGregor. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, strike one.
Now the young man in the bottom of the lineup for Woodstock who can do some damage is LaMarche. I've seen him swing the bat the past few nights. Real aggressive swing.
0-1 pitch. Karate leads off second. Breaking ball, line, and a base hit into left center field. Karate rounds third. He will score. And just like that, 6-1, the Centaurs answer right back.
And true to Woodstock's form, this is a team that's like glue. You just will never be able to get them off your hands. They're going to hang around. They're going to grind. Scrappy squad.
The first baseman, number 14, sophomore.
That brings
Brady
up the big
Erickson.
sophomore, number 14, Brady Erickson.
Little open stance here. You might want to throw him in. He's a dive hitter. That looks like what the approach is going to be with him.
Erickson, who runs like a deer and hits like a John Deere.
And he dunks like Wilt. 6'8", 6'7". He's a big boy.
Fastball fouled out of play to the left.
This young man's going to attract a lot of attention by the time he's a senior in high school.
Well, he has already he's had some early looks from some pretty prominent programs that are he's in wait and see mode, but he'll be pitching on scholarship someplace in a couple of years. There's some interesting places. Now, if you're UConn, he's right around the corner.
Oh, absolutely.
2 balls, 1 strike on Erickson. The pitch lined up the middle,
Oh.
ground ball, 6.
Well turned.
4, 3.
Well turned.
Elmer to Biggs. Double play. Sherwood finishes it off, and just what the doctor ordered.
And there you go, Case, right? It's 6-0, 6-1.
Number 10,
If you're Gavin
senior
O'Brien, don't do
Marcus
anything
McGregor.
radical. Just keep throwing strikes. You got a comfortable lead. Your offense obviously came to the park tonight. Just keep chucking.
Marcus McGregor stands in, the left fielder for Woodstock. Breaking ball high, ball 1.
Both pitchers struggling a little bit with these breaking balls. This young man, you need to be careful. He can put it over the outfielders' heads. Good pitch.
Fastball just high, 2-0. O'Brien deals. Good pitch in on the hands of McGregor. It's fouled off, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. O'Brien deals. Beautiful
Good
fastball
spot.
on the outside part of the plate, 2-2.
Great spot, 2-2. Coming with your best pitch. You don't want to go to a full count. See what O'Brien throws. Most likely his fastball here. Maybe come in. Nope, look like they're going away. Probably a slider.
2-2 pitch.
Nope.
Just missed outside. Kaloy caught it right where he wanted it, couldn't steal it, and we all full 3-2.
It's effective miss, though. See if you can get him nibbling.
Three-two pitch, fastball by him, strike 3. And O'Brien, after giving up a quick run, settles down nicely, and at the end
2
of
hits
1,
and 1 run. We've got
6-1,
one complete in the
East Lyme on top
ECC baseball title
of
game,
Woodstock.
6-1
Now,
the Vikings.
it's hard enough to know what a Centaur is, but the Centaurs are being represented on the scoreboard by the Sea Unicorns. So you have a Centaur being represented by a Sea Unicorn. Now, a Centaur, as you know, is the upper body of a man.
Of a man.
And the lower body of a horse.
Fans, the sea unicorns
A
are
sea
gearing up for the
unicorn,
2023 season.
as best I can tell,
Is this Monday,
is a
May
narwhal.
29th, as we
But
celebrate Memorial Day with
if it's
baseball
a
and
horse,
Postgame fireworks.
like the unicorn is,
Season tickets and mini plans are currently
if it's a
available
sea
at
horse,
3,000 books by
then
reaching
wouldn't
out to Dodd
a
Stadium
centaur and a sea unicorn just be a guy swimming around in the ocean with a...
Makes perfect sense, Case.
Which would have been what the Vikings would have seen when they were sailing over to conquer their territory.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that sea unicorn came from.
It was their attempt to be kitschy, minor
Yeah,
league kitschy.
yeah.
Let's have some fun with the names.
Right?
By the way, there's a sign out under the scoreboard out there, under the GoSeaUnicorns.com sign. It's also in left field. That took me a good 30 times to read before I realized that was a submarine, and there's no substitute for a career. I just kept looking at, there's no statute for a career. And I was thinking, I have no idea what a statute is, but that's fine.
And they capitalized career.
Just
for
emphasis. There is no substitute for a career.
That's right. Solid proper noun there, I guess.
And leading off here in the top of the second inning,
there we go.
Right fielder Connor Tukey. Tukey walked and scored in the first.
Well, Brian's got to really get this leadoff out. Usually about 70% of the time, leadoff guys, they score. He's got to stop the hemorrhaging. But it's a tall order here with Tukey.
Fastball out, 2-1. 2-1 pitch from O'Brien. Good pitch on the inside part of the plate, 2-2. O'Brien deals 2-2. Fastball rides high, full count. I gotta wonder what kind of leash he's gonna have here. Full count pitch, hit hard on the ground. Easy play for Morissette. Over to Erickson for out number one.
Leadoff outs.
The pitcher, number 11, Gavin O'Brien.
Looks like the Centaurs have their relief pitcher warm and ready in the bullpen. They're going to just kind of see how long O'Brien can go. Speaking of O'Brien, the opposing pitcher, Gavin O'Brien, steps in for East Lyme. O'Brien hit a 345-foot single in the first inning that landed on the track, and he's quickly behind in the count, 0-1. Hard ground ball, easy hop for Karate, over to Erickson, 2 away.
I think he also almost hit Mars, too. The thing was as high as it was far.
That would have hit the clock on top of the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Alex Dreyfus, designated hitter. He walked and scored in the first. Pitch, fastball, inside part of the plate. Strike one.
Nice pitch. Get right in there in his kitchen.
0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss by Dreyfus, and he's down in the count 0-2.
What are we thinking here, Case? Something out?
Right at him. Go right at him. Now, I'm up. You're down 6-1, and you got a ton of pitches banked already. I'm not wasting anymore. I'm going right at him. I got nobody on base. I've given up 2 hard ground balls. Let's just keep going. Just all it is location. Spot it. That's a good take right there from Dreyfus. Count 2-2. He tried to bury that slider in on his hands.
It's a really good take, too, especially for a left-handed hitter, right in their sweet spot, too.
2-2 pitch. Fouled away. Good spoil by Dreyfus. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Freezes him with a fastball. Strike 3 and a much better inning
No hits, no
for
runs,
Riley
nobody
O'Brien.
on the left dime.
We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. It's 6-1 East Lyme. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
You can purchase a digital download of tonight's game or any of our live broadcasts at Vimeo On Demand. For details, head to vimeo.com/ondemand/GameDayCT.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. Bottom of the second inning, 6-1, East Lyme on top here in the ECC Baseball Championship. Riley O'Brien, the pitcher for the Centaurs, Carter Morissette, the second baseman, and Kean Lamarche, the right fielder. 5, 6, 7 due up versus Gavin O'Brien, the East Lyme pitcher, who gave up double single to lead off the bottom of the first and came back right away, closed it down, and now he has that 5-run lead here going into the second. Fastball rides in, 1-0.
Just going to say, Riley O'Brien really crowding that plate. Maybe want to come in on his hands, bust him in, just so you can open up that outside half.
Foul down the right field line, heading to the stands and out of play, 1-1. You know, there is so much content available on YouTube, Netflix. You know, there's just so much content these days. If you're a baseball person and you like content, there are no shortage of movies, documentaries, so much good quality stuff. We watched a movie, if you will, documentary on Nolan Ryan the other night, and it was fabulous. Fouled straight back, 0-2.
Yeah, I saw that documentary, and after I saw it, I don't see how you can debate that Nolan is the GOAT.
I mean, 51 records, pitched for 27 years. Fastball just down, and O'Brien, the pitcher, thought it was strike 3. O'Brien, the hitter, thought it was strike 3. He was heading back to the dugout. The only one that disagreed was the home plate umpire, 1-2. Breaking ball, high fly ball to left field. Settling underneath is Cochran, and first out of the inning.
And the thing about Nolan Ryan was his last pitch in the major leagues, when he blew his elbow out, was at 96 miles an hour.
My son and I watched it together, and when we were done, AJ said to me, he goes, "I think I have a new favorite player." He's like, I don't know how to, you know, there's so much admiration for him. Ground ball over to the right side. Biggs gobbles it up. And a quick second out as Morissette is retired. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Kean Lamarche.
And he's one of the, he's one of the pitchers, too, Case, that absolutely loathed hitters. Like, if you stepped in the box again, he naturally just hated you as a human being.
Did you see him with the pitch clock? Any guy, if you stepped out one time, he would be mortally upset. Lamarche, the junior right fielder, takes a pitch high. Top-notch crew today. Kevin Moreland is your home plate umpire. Leo Bauza down there at first base, and Eddie Nena over at third. Fastball away, 2-0.
Eddie Nena, one of the true comedians in the game. Former teammate of mine for New London Legion.
I'm old, so I.
Yeah, you coached him.
I coached him. He was the first baseman on a state champion team in 1994.
Yeah. Boy, that was a great New London team, too. Eddie, Sean Roach, Joey Bustamante, Louis Martinez.
I'm very impressed.
Kevin DePeter had a dream season that year.
Mike Dowd,
Mike
Damian
Dowd.
D'Angelo.
Yep.
Uh,
Jason O'Reilly behind the dish.
and the great Sean Duzant, the late Sean Duzant. Line to right field and tracking it down.
And don't forget, Derek Rock is your closer.
Oh, don't! I'll never forget.
I think Derek was like the first closer that the high school scene ever saw.
Well, we could spend a second talking about that team because it brings its fond memories for me. And Mike tomorrow as well. One of Mike's favorite moments is at the end of that state championship game, the ground ball to Louis Martinez at third base, when all he needed to do was just,
touch third,
and instead he was going to make sure he made that throw across the diamond. And Louis had made throws that were truly outstanding. If you think of Bull Durham, he was like a living, breathing Nuke LaLoosh at third base. He could make throws that could go anywhere. So when he let it go across the diamond and a collective 30 people yelled no, only for it, of course, to go over into the glove of Nena in the state championship for New London. But that was a team that was built on great players at the right positions and players who played great at other positions.
Oh, 100%. And they got such a great injection that year because Sean Roach was at Waterford. And he had come over, and not only did he win a state championship for baseball, but they won it for basketball as well. And he gave that team, and he gave us in New London Legion such toughness.
That's correct.
Such toughness.
Now, he was a third baseman, and Louis Martinez was a second baseman because that's what it looked like they should be. We made the switch in the preseason to move Roach to second base and Louis to third base. But that team started and stopped with Joey Bustamante in the leadoff spot as a shortstop. Jason O'Reilly, a great guy behind the plate, still a coach now. And three guys in DePeter, Dowd, and D'Angelo who all had their best seasons when it counted.
Oh, absolutely.
Top of the third inning here, 6-1 East Lyme over Woodstock in your ECC championship game.
I remember pitching against that lineup in the hangover the following day. Felt like I got hit with a cement mixer.
Ground ball foul down the third baseline, 0-2. Yeah, that team wore some people out. We were a team that grinded out at bats, and we had guys like Marcos Medina and Mark Tryon and Louis Martinez Chino, who became a published author of
fantastic
renown.
Book. Yep, I've read it.
So it was a team that was. It was not a team full of baseball guys. It was a team full of guys who just loved each other and loved to play baseball, but state champion.
Absolutely.
0-2 pitch sails wide.
And the thing too about that squad is they were characters. Probably the funniest collection of kids I've ever been around because I played with many of them that summer for New London Legion.
Just down. Count evens at 2-2 on Peter Sherwood, your first baseman. He struck out in the first inning. O'Brien trying to get him again here in the third. Instead, he hooks a ground ball over to third. Long throw across the diamond made by Mathewson for the second out. For the first out.
Seems like Riley O'Brien settled down a little bit. Got that first inning jitters out. Thrown to soft contact. That's exactly what you want.
Shortstop Owen Elmer steps in. He delivered the big blow in the first inning, a bases clearing triple that really kind of set the tone for the Vikings. Fastball outside corner, strike one.
You guys gave me my only loss that season, Case.
Yeah, I remember that game well too. 0-1 pitch.
I'm still trying to forget it.
Line drive, center field, right in his tracks. Murphy pulls it away for the out. 2 down quickly here in the third. That'll bring up the catcher, Quinn Killoy. And Killoy singled and drove a run in the first as well. Came around to score later on the double by Biggs.
Case, where does that 94 New London team rank with the New London teams that have won the state championships?
A high pop-up on the infield. Erickson calls it. Now it's drifting back, and he drops it into fair territory. That's going to be an E3, and Killoy will be on first base. So that's going to get Cochran, the left fielder, a chance to hit here. Liam Cochran flew out in his first at-bat.
Liam Cochran.
I will answer that question in a moment after I'll let the folks at home debate that among themselves.
I'm sure we're going to upset some people, probably.
I look forward to it. Breaking ball just outside, 1-0. The pitch. Just out, 2-0.
It's a great spot. Didn't get the call, but a great spot if you're the hitter. You're looking dead red, fastball, 2-0 count.
Lined into the gap by Cochran. That's going to split him. Killoy's on his horse, and he's going to round third and score easily. Heading to third. Cochran throws Sales over. He's going to try to score, puts the brakes on, and heads back to third. A double and an RBI for Liam Cochran. It is 7-1.
Smart hold up there by Cochran. It looked like when he was rounding second that he wasn't quite sure if he wanted to take third.
Number 9 hitter, Blake Biggs. He doubled, drove a run in first. It's pretty good when your 8-9 hitters have to split the gaps. Double by Cochran, double by Biggs, triple by Elmer. A lot of pop in these East Lyme bats today.
This is why they could go all the way. They're an unrelenting lineup.
Well, I mean, the bottom two, Cochran and Biggs, you got, guys with some pop in their bats down at the bottom of the order. We're going to get some more action. Woodstock's going to send some folks down in the bullpen. That looks like Eli Smith, a junior, is going to go warm up. Breaking ball, base hit for Biggs. He's having himself quite a day. He'll plate Cochran. That'll turn the lineup over to Bureau.
The center fielder, number 4, John Bureau.
Boy, right when you think you've got East Lyme, here they come again.
There he goes. Breaking ball, tough pitch to throw on, and Biggs steals second easily.
East Lyme looking like they're going for the kill.
0-1 pitch to John Bureau. Fastball outside. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Erickson fumbles it, and he'll be out at first as O'Brien got there. Erickson stayed with it. Little problems down at first base, but we'll head to the bottom of the third. 8-1 East Lyme on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Nothing better than a beautiful night for baseball at Dodd Stadium. And as we were driving in, I was explaining to my son AJ just how big a deal this place was when it was the Yankees AA affiliate. When you had some of the great Yankee players that came through here, I was showing them where the cars were lined up to, where how the parking lot was full, and there was an auxiliary parking lot that you had to park in, and how cars were stacked all the way down to the street. You know, and as you came in, and this place has seen some amazing names. I was here when Lee Elsey hit one over the left center field fence in a home run derby. And I'm going to tell that story in a little while because we're back at Dodd. And that's one of the great stories. I'm going to tell the Lee Elsey home run derby story. But first, we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Caden Murphy, the center fielder, leads off for Woodstock. Gavin O'Brien pumps a strike in. Oh, 1 pitch. Strike on the outside part of the plate. So, state championships at New London High School. So, I was a part of the 1987 state champion as a player. I was a coach on the 1994 state champion. I was a broadcaster. Weak ground ball to third. Takes a tough hop. Long throw. Tag at first is made by Sherwood. Nice play, and Murphy is out 5-3. So, Wainwright had a tough hop, stayed with it, made a high throw. Sherwood with the tag 5-3, and he'll turn over into the 9-hitter, Tanner Graham, the catcher. I was a broadcaster in 91 that witnessed that state championship. I believe it was 91. It could have been 92. That's the Jim Bunicor, Ray Pabone, John McCullough state championship. Isaac Lazaro, I believe it's 91. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, strike 1. I was not around for the 2009 state championship, nor was I around for the state championship in the other 90. So they lost with Todd Meadows, Will Kleinfelter to Berlin on a grand slam. Ugh. They lost in 85 and 86, ground ball up the middle. Elmer ranges over, tough hop, and that'll be an E6. And back to the top of the lineup, Max Karate, the shortstop who doubled and scored in the first. So they lost in 85 and 86. We won in 87. We lost a couple times around that 91 championship. They won it again in 2009. That's 5 state championships. I think I might be missing 1. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. But I have my opinion, and you can argue almost any of them. The only one that I don't think you can make a case for is the 94 team. The 94 team would have played tough against any of them, but I think they were the team that everything shined the right way.
Yeah.
The 87 team beat 4 pros. The 87 team knocked Pete Walker out of the box, knocked Paul Menhart out of the box. Ball down. That year, you had Bubba Kirsch and Paul Menhart, both. New London beat them both. Beat Pete Walker, beat Mike Blay, another pro. That team just brutalized people. There's a base hit to right by Karate, and Woodstock has a little something going here with 1 out. And the reason is you had Brian Mercado, Gatorade Player of the Year for New England, a pro. Bobby Nenna, Division I player at the University of Hartford. A great shortstop in Ferreira. Young players like Meadows. A great catcher in Kenny Pia. Steve Keefe, Bobby Stanford. But it was really all anchored by young, charismatic second baseman. Pretty much brought it all together that year. The missing piece. Fastball for a strike to Eric Matheson. Matheson singled in Woodstock's only run of the ball game, and down 8-1 with a little something happening here in the bottom of the third. Woodstock trying to get back in the middle of the lineup. Fastball down, blocked nicely by Killoy. Now the team with Jimmy Bunicor, Ray Pabone, Lazaro, that group, they were really good. That team could compete. And the Sanchez team in 2009 was outstanding too. But I'm going to say 87 was the team to beat in that group. Fastball just outside.
And you can't forget the fact that 87 season also saw another state champion in Fitch High School.
That is correct. Which happened 3 straight years, because in 88, 2 state champions, Waterford and East Lyme.
Yeah.
3 straight years the ECC had multiple state champions. Swing and a miss from Mathewson. Good pitch from O'Brien. Count evens up at 2-2.
Man, just a plethora of talent that was floating around southeastern Connecticut in those late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, yeah. No days off. I'll tell you right now, the pitching was outstanding. 2-2 pitch. O'Brien goes down, ball 3. So Woodstock's got a little something going here. Bases low. 3-2, first and second. Second hitter Mathewson up, middle of the order. Erickson and McGregor waiting to hit on the other side. Woodstock want to cut into this 8-1 lead. Full count pitch. O'Brien from the set. Deals. Fastball just outside. Mathewson walks. The bases will be loaded. And the dangerous Brady Erickson will come to the plate. Now, Erickson came up with a runner on in the first and hit it right on the nose, but into a 6-4-3 double play. And now he has a chance to chip away at this 8-1 lead. And only in the 3rd inning, getting into pitching staffs is how you can win these games. Right now, just get the pitch count of O'Brien up, and see who's next. Any inside scoop on who might be next for the Vikings coming out of the pen?
That would be interesting to see. You never know in these kind of contests.
Could it be a famous playwright?
Yeah. I hear there's some 2 turkeys down there.
Bases loaded, 1 out. O'Brien deals to Erickson. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and that was a pitch Erickson wants back. He had a pitch to drive.
Think about Gavin right now is he just needs to just throw his game. Don't get too cute. He's still up 8-1. I know the bases are loaded. Maybe throw in on him.
Breaking ball, he was right on it, fouled it straight back, 0-2.
Well, if he connected with that, he would have won Tuesday's game with it.
Now, I am a little interested. East Lyme's playing him strong pull, and I've seen him go opposite field gap an awful lot. That's a big gap out there in left center field. 0-2 pitch. Fastball, check swing, grounder to short.
Wow.
Elmer, Biggs, and foolishly, Erickson slides into first base. And only through the sheer grace of things is he safe. RBI, runners on first and third.
Now, the thing is, if he was 5'8", he would have been called out. But the fact he's 6'8".
The left fielder, number 10, Marcus McGregor.
So Graham comes in to score. Over to third, Karate. And Erickson at first on the fielder's choice. McGregor in the box, the left fielder. Let's see if Erickson takes off. Fastball down. For those of you at home wondering, well, why did he, why did I make fun of the idea that he slid? Well, the notion of sliding into first base, that it is only to be done to avoid a tag. That's the right reason to slide into first. High fastball swung through by McGregor. You don't slide into first to make it faster, because it's not. And the way we know this is Olympic sprinters don't slide into the finish line of the 100-yard dash because it's not faster. But sometimes, as Erickson did in that case, when you're running full speed and you're leaning forward and everything is, it just feels like you just want to get to that bag and you just dive for it in desperation. 2-1 pitch. Out of play, foul, 2-2.
And the other thing, too, Case, when you go into first base, you don't want to overstride either. Joe Torre from the Yankees was really big about the Yankees base runners. Just stay within your natural, cadence or pace.
2-2 pitch. Erickson leads off the first, Karate off the third. Ground ball back up the middle, could be 2. Biggs steps on the bag, and he only needed 1, so we're at the end of 3. Woodstock only gets 1 across, 8-2 at the end of 3. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
You can purchase a digital download of tonight's game or any of our live broadcasts at Vimeo On Demand. For details, head to vimeo.com/ondemand/GameDayCT.
New pitcher into the ball game for Woodstock, Eli Smith, the junior, number 17 on the bump for the Centaurs. He'll come in to start the top of the 4th inning. Riley O'Brien went 3 for the Centaurs, gave up 8 runs on 6 hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can
And
have
now
your attention,
Smith
please.
will face Tukey, O'Brien, and Dreyfus, 2, 3,
for
4
Woodstock Academy,
for East Lyme.
Number 17, junior Eli
So a long
Smith.
time ago, Lee Elsey was a DJ locally and was invited to participate in a celebrity home run derby here at Dodd. People like Dave Winfield, Mike Schmidt, and like the Channel 3 weather guy were all invited to be in this home run derby. They set up cones out in the outfield for the celebrities to hit their home runs, and it happened during the game. And so when it happened, all the fans went to the concession stands. And Elsey steps into the box. They all left because they wanted to watch Winfield hit, and they wanted to watch Schmidt hit, and they each hit a couple. And then Elsey, and he's introduced, he's not introduced as former Clemson Tiger or Old Dominion or Waterford Great or St. Louis Cardinal, right? He's introduced and now local DJ Lee Elsey will take a couple of hacks here. And he steps in the box, and the fans are at the concession stand, and he hits the first one over the scoreboard in left center field. And Mike Schmidt and Dave Winfield both went, local DJ? Fastball inside, ball 1. Elsey finishes the round with like 5 home runs, 3 of the longest ones anyone's hit. And someone, we won't know who, we'll never know who, went to the person who was running the event and said, yeah, he's done. We're not going to let him hit here in the finals. We're going to have Schmidt and Winfield hit in the finals because that's what everyone wants to see. No one wants to see local DJ Lee Elsey launch 5 more and beat Mike Schmidt. 1-1 pitch from Smith.
I watched Lee Elsey hit a home run during a men's league game. I think you were there, Case, when we were playing for the Zinc.
Absolutely.
And he hit it from home plate all the way into the end zone at Caminella Field.
That is correct.
One of the most amazing home runs I've ever seen.
2-2 pitch. Upcoming from Smith. Lee has a couple of the longest home runs. He's hit a ball. The longest home run I ever saw at Montville High School, up into the top of the trees in left center field. 2-2 pitch fouled out of play as Tukey stays alive.
And like any good hitter, after he hit a dinger, he came back and what does he say? Did you get all of it? No.
Got off the hands a little bit. I'm going to give you a little multiple choice here in a moment. 2-2 from Smith.
Good pitch.
High chopper foul. I have played in a game with Lee Elsey where he has A, played shortstop in a clown wig and shoes. B, talked with Lee Elsey while he was hitting with his cell phone in his back pocket and me on hold. That's A and B. We'll get to C and D. 2-2 pitch from Smith. Lined into left field. McGregor heading towards the line, slicing away from him, and he tracks it down for the out. 1 away here in the 4th as Tukey lines out to McGregor. That'll bring up Gavin O'Brien, 1 for 2, single and a ground out. C, I have watched Lee Elsey hit 3 home runs in a game and pitch a complete game shutout in the same game. And 4, I have seen Lee Elsey walk back to the dugout and be on the bench seated before his pop-up on the infield was actually caught. Ball down, 1-0.
Now, Case, can I ask, is there an E for all the above?
One of those, I will say this, I'll change it, it's not multiple choice. One's a lie. The other three actually did happen. So pick the lie. Pick the lie. Which of those three did I not witness Lee Elsey do?
Knowing Lee, I'm going to go with B, the cell phone.
Pitch up and in. So I did watch Lee Elsey run out the shortstop in mismatched shoes and a clown wig to play shortstop. That is true. I did watch Lee Elsey hit a pop-up so high that he was already seated on the bench, refusing to have run it out as it came down on the infield. Fastball, high fly ball, deep into left field. McGregor back, looking up, and it is gone! Gavin O'Brien, touch 'em all.
Vikings.
9-2 Vikings. Well, he hit the one in the first inning that carried, and that one carried, and there is nothing cheap about a home run to left field at Dodd Stadium.
Even for the pros, that's a poke. So for an 18-year-old kid to put it out there, that's a bomb.
Dreyfus steps in, fouled, out of play. You know, East Lyme just now, at the end of the season, got back to East Lyme High School. Bridebrook, which is a notorious cavernous field with winds that are almost always blow in. Can you imagine the home runs he would have put up at East Lyme High School this year? Dreyfus sits on a breaking ball nicely, lines it into right for a base hit. Dreyfus is 1 for 2.
I know. In talking with Coach Biggs, it seems like there was always some sort of story about, Gavin hitting a 390-foot fly ball out over Bridebrook. Like you said, Case, if he was playing at East Lyme, at least 5 or 6 of them.
Just felt like the wind always blew in at Bridebrook, too. It was never blowing out, or even no wind. Dreyfus, big lead over at first base. Sherwood in. Shallow fly ball, right field, coming in on it, Lamarche, and he makes the catch as he heads towards the line for the second out. Sherwood flies out to right field.
What would be interesting to see is if the cumulative distance and the cumulative height, which would be farther.
Owen Elmer.
And so the last bit of Lee Elsey is that, yes, Lee Elsey called me, was talking to me on his phone, and said, hold on a second, I'm up. And I said, I'll call you back. And he goes, no, you're good. And just put me in his pocket as he batted. Smith throws over to first as Dreyfus gets back. Owen Elmer, the shortstop, in 1 for 2. Big triple in the first inning. Got East Lyme rolling. Breaking ball in for a strike. 0-1.
It's a great pitch right there. Nice little wrinkle on the inside half. That surprises me about Lee, though. Knowing the aversion that baseball guys have for, cell phones and baseball fields.
I think at that point, playing at Washington Park on a Tuesday night, he's like, I don't want to have to call you back. We'll just hang on. Here we go.
Hey, you want to talk to your buddy?
Threw me in his back pocket, and I listened to him walk. One pitch to Owen Elmer. Dreyfus leads off at first. Ground ball to third. Long throw across the diamond. Erickson reach out and gets it, and that'll take care of the inning as Matheson throws out Elmer. And we are through 3.5 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-2 East Lyme. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Bottom of the fourth inning here in the ECC Championship game, 9-2, East Lyme on top of Woodstock Academy. And it's funny, if you look at the graphic on screen, it would appear that East Lyme's playing Waterford, the WA, which has been a game that we feel like we have done no shortage of times. Woodstock Academy has made an impression in the ECC over the past couple of years, a program very much on the rise. And so if you look at the traditional ECC powerhouses, Waterford and East Lyme, Fitch, New London, each have gone through ebbs and flows, but East Lyme and Waterford have kind of cemented. Woodstock, I would say, is kind of like the new kid on the block. Very much a presence at the top of the conference.
Oh, absolutely, Case.
Riley O'Brien leading off here in the bottom of the fourth. Lines a base hit on the first pitch. He sees single to left for O'Brien, and that'll bring up second baseman Carter Morissette. I feel like New London has had its ebbs and flows. Fitch has had some ebbs and flows. NFA has had some ebbs and flows. Waterford and East Lyme have been sort of the premier teams in the conference now for a good amount of time. I think Woodstock is in that conversation now. I think they're going to be someone we talk about at the top of the conference for the next few years as well.
Yeah, especially when you look at Woodstock's lineup, they got a few 10th graders already in this on the roster, and then they obviously have the Erickson kid to anchor him down for the next few years. The future's bright for this program. Woodstock is a tough team.
Well, you got a shortstop in Karate, sophomore, a catcher in Graham, sophomore, Erickson, sophomore. So if I got pitcher, catcher, and shortstop as sophomores,
you're good.
I'm going to be good for a couple years. Breaking ball in for a strike to Morissette.
And it's going to be frightening to see Erickson by the time he's a senior in high school. If he can get his command down, he is going to be tough.
Breaking ball high, 1-1.
He reminds me a lot of a kid I had a few years ago, Ian Sakala. 6'8", threw hard.
High pop up on the infield. Biggs settles underneath it and makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring Ken Lamarche up, right fielder, lined out in his first at bat.
And watching the Erickson kid throw last night too, Casey, one thing he'll learn as he matures is his velocity is good. He's about 85, 86. It's the command, and especially the command of the off-speed stuff, that he really needs to work on and polish. That will be the difference maker for him as to where he registers as a prospect.
So two things. One is his senior year has a chance to be a lot like Mike Burrows' senior year, which is must-watch. Every game that he pitches, you got to go watch. And the second thing is I smell French fries. I don't know if anyone else just got a whiff of French fries, but it's very distracting when you're trying to talk about a baseball game and you get a whiff of French fries. The smells of a ballpark. 0-1 pitch to Ken Lamarche, and instead O'Brien decides to throw over, and Riley dives back to the bag. O'Brien's pitch, ground ball, Elmer, Biggs, Sherwood, 6-4-3, and Lamarche grounds into the double play, and that'll take us through 4 innings. 1 hit, no one left at the end of 4. 9-2, East Lyme on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
You can purchase a digital download of tonight's game or any of our live broadcasts at Vimeo On Demand. For details, head to vimeo.com/ondemand/GameDayCT.
The J strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Top of the 5th inning here in the ECC Baseball Championship. East Lyme on top 9-2. Beautiful night here at Dodd Stadium, and if you're looking for something to do on Monday, Memorial Day, opening night here at Dodd, the Sea Unicorns, with a little bit of post-game fireworks. We always love the post-game fireworks, brought to you by Liberty Bank. It's Magnet Schedule giveaway, and we want to come on out Monday night, May 29th here for the Sea Unicorns. Nothing better on Memorial Day than baseball and fireworks. Get yourself an apple pie before you get there, and along with a hot dog, and you'll have every American trope we know. Smith remains in the game on the mound for Woodstock, and he will face the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Vikings, Kaloy, Cochran, and Biggs. Though you'll be hard-pressed because Kaloy's got a single, Cochran's got a double, Biggs has got a double and a single, so that 7, 8, 9 has lit it up for the Vikings.
Again, there's really no room in this lineup, Casey, for pitchers to breathe.
That's a good look right there at Eli Smith. Junior right-hander for Woodstock Academy deals. Line drive, center field, on his horse is Murphy, and over-the-shoulder catch. Nicely done, Caden Murphy running it down in the outfield for out number 1.
The left fielder, number 2.
Left
Liam
fielder,
Cochran.
number 2, junior Liam Cochran steps in. Fly out to center field, and a double and run scored in the 3rd inning. Smith deals ball low. As the sun begins to set, it's now directly in the eyes of the left side of the infield. And Smith deals 1-0. Fastball fouled down the right field line, out of play. 1-1. You know, this East Lyme team, 9-2, absolutely relentless. Their offense has been clicking on all cylinders. They've won 5 straight games, and before that, they had won 5 straight before that. The last team to beat them, hard to believe anybody could hold this team to 1 run. But the last game they lost, they were held to 1 run. Now, it's not surprising that it was Waterford that did it, but who could possibly, you know, it was Nolan Ryan on the mound for Waterford High School? I mean, how could they have shut down these Vikings? 2-1 pitch. Strike on the outside part of the plate. I mean, was there a transfer kid in from California that came in, blew smoke, and left? No, it was our own camera guy, Matty Ori. Shut him down. 2-2 pitch. Grounded foul. I got to think it was his camera. It was the camera guy. You know, the ability to see the little things, see the angles, the different point of view.
Exploitation.
There he is right there. That's how you shut down East Lyme right there. You pitch that guy, and now he's in the dugout taunting him. He's in their dugout. Line drive, base hit through the hole for Cochran. He's 2 for 3.
One thing, too, Case, when I was coaching with my teams, one thing I always wanted them to do at least one point in the season was you need to win 5 straight games somewhere in your schedule, because that's what it's going to take to win the state championships. You got to win 5 straight. So East Lyme's done it twice, so they've already proven to themselves psychologically that they can do it.
Number 9 hitter Blake Biggs, second baseman. 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a double. To win a tournament, there's almost, you almost could teach a class on how to win a tournament, because winning a tournament is more than even just winning 5 games. It's a little bit strategy, it's a little bit luck, and it's a real understanding. As Biggs gets plunked, he'll head on down to first, and the Vikings have something going again with runners on first and second, back to the top of the order for John Bureau. But there's also understanding the ebbs and flows of tournament play. And in order to win a tournament, you're going to have to win a game when you play lousy.
Yep.
You have to find a way to win a game. You're probably going to have to win a game by out-hitting someone. So you have to ask yourself as a coach, do we have the capabilities of out-hitting someone? So for all these teams that, bunt and run and they play for these 3-2 games, you're going to have to out-slug somebody to win a state tournament. Woodstock's going to make a pitching change. We're going to bring that to your attention, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what it takes to win a tournament. But coming in for Woodstock Academy is freshman Logan Kotu. He's 5'9", right-hander, and he'll be on the bump now for the Centaurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Now pitching for Woodstock Academy, number 5, freshman Logan Kutu.
So Kutu, freshman, coming in to face the top of the Vikings order. Good velocity for the young man. So you're going to have to outslug someone. You're also going to have to be able to win a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, a close 2-1 game. So you go into the tournament, I'm going to have to outslug somebody in one of these games.
Yep.
I'm going to have to win a pitcher's duel in one of these games because I'm going to face somebody who's lights out.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have to win a game where I don't play great. Now, you hope that the win a game when you don't play great is when you're facing the team that's a lot worse than you and you just don't hit and you survive that game.
Yeah.
But if you look at each tournament run that a state champion has made, and you're certainly very familiar with this, all these tournaments have that sort of same, it's survive the game you don't play well, outslug the team in the game that you have to, get maybe a break, and you miss somebody's ace or whatever. But you're right. You got to win 5 straight, but you also have to show a versatility in your how you play.
Yeah, absolutely. Within that 5, you're going to have to win a number of different ways, and not to mention the fact that you're going to probably win a game too relying on someone who you didn't factor into the mix.
That's correct. That's a great point. It's the who's going to step up that I didn't see coming. Because, sure, for East Lyme to win a state championship, Gavin O'Brien and Alex Streifus are going to have to play well. No surprise.
Absolutely.
But who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Blake Biggs of the world in the 9-hole, 3 for 3, driving in runs? Is it going to be, the outfielder making the play, making the dive and catch?
Or is it going to be, your starter blows up on the day he throws, and you got to bring in your relief pitcher, and he stabilizes things for the game. You never know.
I'll tell you right now, I like this kid's stuff as a freshman. Good fastball, and that's a sharp breaking ball, 1-1.
I was going to say he just cut glass with that curveball.
So good. Woodstock's going to have more pitching up and coming in the coming years. That's great. I was just talking about how they're going to be at the top of the league for years to come. The 1-1 pitch, fastball in. I go back to that 1987 state championship we talked about. Game 1, New London hosting Suffield, right? We're the number 1 seed. Suffield's like the 32. You know what I mean? A team we're supposed to bludgeon. Line into left field. McGregor settles underneath it, comes in and makes the catch for out number 2. And that'll turn over to Connor Tukey. 0 for 2 on the day.
The right
fielder
Connor Tukey
walked, grounded to second, lined left. And we got stifled by a kid who didn't have great stuff, and we hit 100 pop-ups, and next thing you know, it's 1-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and we're in danger of losing to Suffield. And Anthony Santangelo, the designated hitter, who, and launches a walk-off home run, and we survive a game. There it is, surviving a game when we didn't play well with a guy you don't expect. And then we settled in and just beat up a team and and then you ease into it and then things happen. But yeah, it's always funny, and you're going to have to survive those moments in a tournament when you're not playing great.
Right.
Curveball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Graham. 2-1.
And, in that first round, too, you could be the 1, you could be the 32. And you know that the 32 has got a dude. Like,
Yep.
they got a dude.
10-10 teams scare the heck out of me because usually one of them's got a kid who's 8-1.
Yep.
And 8 of their 10, of their 10 wins, 8 came from this kid on the bump. And you're like, in game 2, they're gonna lose 26-2, but in game 1, they can beat anybody.
Absolutely.
2-2 pitch. High drive into right field. Lamarche settles underneath it and hauls it in for the out. And we're through the 5, heading to the bottom of the 5th. 9-2 East Lyme. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
(9-2) Vikings as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Gavin O'Brien still on the bump as Woodstock Academy will send up its 8-9 hitters Caden Murphy and Tanner Graham, and then back to the top of the order with shortstop Max Karate here in the 5th as the Centaurs trying to climb back in this thing. It's been all Vikings since the top of the 1st inning.
Back to that point, Casey, the 2005 Fitch team that ended up winning the state championship, that first round they played Manchester, and there was some debate about whether or not to throw Matt Harvey. And Coach Harvey, obviously he's a little long in the tooth when it came to deep state tournament runs. Decides to throw Matt, and obviously with that team, you thought, okay, they're going to just go out and pummel Manchester. Well, it ends up being an 8 or 9 inning 3-2 contest, and they barely squeaked through. But again, the immortal Matt Harvey, and
well, it's a good thing they had another major league pitcher to pitch the next night. Up the middle, ranging is Elmer, but it's through for a base hit. Murphy has a single here, leading off the 5th, and that'll bring up the catcher, Tanner Graham. Yeah, I feel terrible for Coach Harvey having to go to the other major league starter that he had on that staff, and worst came to worst, he could go to the Division I kid that was pitching in the 3-hole.
It's like having 2 fantastic bottles of wine in the cellar.
I'll take the 2 right-handed starters, thank you very much. You can have the wine. I'll take the guys throwing 96.
You can buy a lot of wine with those arms.
Oh, my goodness. That was, again, a lot of major leaguers coming out of the ECC at that time. You had NFA and Kerrigan.
Gosh.
And 0-1 pitch, O'Brien from the stretch. Breaking ball, that's a good pitch for strike 2. Freezes Graham on the inside part of the plate.
Kerrigan might be the most headstrong pitcher I think I've
Bulldog.
seen. Oh, my goodness gracious. Tough as the day is long.
And another pro on that team, Eric Campbell.
Where did he go to college, Case? I don't know.
Eric Campbell, where did he go to college? Let me see. Eric Campbell, he must have gone. He was a good student, but I seem to remember him.
Was it Notre Dame?
I seem to remember him settling for a sports school with a poor academic reputation. The 0-2 pitch, just outside, 1-2. Yeah, there was a lot. Again, when you look at the names we're listing, and it felt like we had a lot of talent, and then we broke through with some major league players, and then we had a run where everyone was in the major leagues. Beautiful breaking ball, strike 3 as Graham is frozen looking.
That was just a fantastic slider that O'Brien just threw to him.
The shortstop, number 12, Max Carati.
Max Grady, the shortstop, up next. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a single.
You know, our neck of the woods, we may build submarines, but we also build Major League Baseball players too.
Well, I mean, that was the great conversation when at one point we had, from the ECC, had something along the lines of 8 major league players actively in the major leagues at one time. Not, a county in California, the ECC, a conference in Connecticut that still nobody thinks can play good baseball. 0-1 pitch upcoming to Karate as O'Brien has settled in nicely here, but hasn't yet gotten the shortstop from Woodstock. Time called as Kevin Moreland spins out and calls time.
In a situation like that, too, O'Brien's just got to throw the ball. Just let it go. You don't want to get yourself hurt.
0-1 pitch. Beautiful fastball at the knees for strike 2.
Well spotted. Hey, listen, you can take all our greats from around this area, and I'll put them up against anybody.
Well, we saw another one, Scott Chasen. He's here today, Coach
Right.
Chasen. Another one. Chopper, Sherwood spins, gets the out at second for the force. Karate will be safe at first on the fielder's choice.
Sherwood played that so textbook, too. Didn't come across his body and risk airmailing it into left field. Turned glove side, made a real nice throw, made sure he got his out.
Mathewson, the third baseman, he's 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles.
Number 1, Eric Mathewson.
It's funny, Case, we were talking about the New London teams and earlier, and back when Legion was going on, all those guys came together and played in the summer.
Yeah, that's just remarkable. Good pitch from O'Brien, ties up Mathewson 0-1.
It was at 85, 86 that they went out to South Dakota for the World Series.
85, pick off at first base, diving in safely, Karate. 1985 was Kokomo, Indiana. Game 1 was started by Fitch's Dave Menhart. Game 2 was started by Waterford's Billy Gardner. Out in 1986 was Rapid City, South Dakota. Throw over to first again, back safely is Corrado. Game 1 was started by New London's Brian Mercado. Game 2 was started by New London's Mike Santangelo. Or maybe that was the other way around. Game 1 was started. Mike Santangelo pitched against Jensen Beach, Florida, and California Angel University of Miami great Joe Gray.
Wow.
And Brian Mercado, and then Paul Menhart was on that staff as well. Another major league pitcher,
Yeah.
Paul Menhart.
And World Series winner.
That's correct. Foul it straight back. Who was not the best Menhart pitcher at the high school level. His older brother Dave was as dominant, went down to South Carolina to pitch in college, but Paul ended up being a pro, major leaguer, but in high school, Dave was the dominant of the Menharts.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because Paul was a curveball pitcher.
Yeah, until he got to the major leagues and they wouldn't call it for a strike. There goes Karate and fouled out of play from Mathewson. Count remains 0-2. Yep, the great story there is Joe Gray got on the mound. Jensen Beach, Florida had lost like twice all year. He gives up a base hit to Adrian Clark, gives up a long home run to Bobby Russell, gives up a triple to Brian Mercado, and looks around like, who the heck are these guys? And then found out that he could throw a slider 2 inches off the plate for a strike and struck out 18. Line drive base hit for Mathewson. He's 3 for 3 on the day.
Good piece of hitting right there.
That'll bring up Brady Erickson, the first baseman. He's 0 for 2. Well, New London's coach Jim O'Neill had a scout, Tommy Bork, who was the scout for the time, and Bork said, "Hey, you're getting Gray." O'Neill said, "Yeah, what do you got?" And he said, "Yeah, you got no chance." He goes, we're pretty good. We hit the ball. He goes, "No, you don't understand. This guy's a pro. You got no chance." And it was almost like Gray after the triple by Mercado was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to pay attention today, and then proceeded to just punch out 18. Yeah, he was lights out and pitched in the major leagues for the Angels.
Tom Bork drafted my brother. when out of high school. And he also drafted Ron Licciardi.
That is correct. Ron Licciardi, another great left-hander. Here in the championship game, East Lyme with a 9-2 lead over Woodstock in the bottom of the 5th inning. Woodstock with runners on first and second. O'Brien deals to Erickson. That is hit well, deep center field, but on his horse and casually hauling it in, the great center fielder, John Bureau. That was deep in the gap. Erickson probably would have had that one out of a few ballparks, but instead it ends the inning. We're through 5, 9-2 East Lyme. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. You can purchase a digital download of tonight's game or any of our live broadcasts at Vimeo On Demand. For details, head to vimeo.com/ondemand/GameDayCT.
Top of the 6th here at Dodd Stadium. East Lyme up 9-2, heading towards the 2023 ECC Baseball Championship. Gavin O'Brien, the pitcher, who also hit a long home run in his last at-bat, will lead off here in the 6th for the Vikings. Kutu will stay on the mound for Woodstock.
I have to say, Case, I like this kid's moxie for Woodstock.
I like his stuff.
Yeah.
Good delivery, quick to the plate.
Yeah. Got a sneaky fast fastball. Little Pedro-esque, little whip.
O'Brien, high fly ball to center field. Murphy settles underneath it. And O'Brien is retired, leading off the 6th. That'll bring up Dreyfus, the designated hitter.
Designated hitter number 24,
walked, struck out, and
Alex
singled.
Dreyfus.
Chopper to short. Roddy comes to get the hop, throws across the diamond, and 2 quick outs in the 6th. Sherwood will be up next for East Lyme, but I like the kid's pace, tempo, pounds his own.
Yeah, I like this kid.
First baseman,
Just
number
go right
1,
at these
Peter
hitters.
Sherwood.
He's playing with house money, has nothing to lose. Just go right at him.
And these are good innings, by the way, as you head into the postseason.
Sure.
This might change the coach's opinion about how he should approach the postseason.
Well, like we were saying, if you're going to win its championship, you're going to have somebody kind of come out of the stable that you didn't expect, and who knows, this kid could be it.
Fouled straight back, just shy of the booth. Sherwood, one of the only Vikings to not have reached base yet, struck out, grounded to third, flew out to right.
Nice pitch.
Just missed with a breaking ball down, 2-1.
It's good discipline, too, by Sherwood.
I just like the kid catches it, gets on the hill. And let's go, next pitch. Foul down the right field line, out of play. Count evens at 2.
Pitch clock has nothing on this kid.
Well, I see why he's a pitcher now. For those of you that were not on camera, he just dropped 3 consecutive throws. Now watch, vicious slider for strike 3. On my cue, there it is, strike 3. Caught Sherwood looking. Another good inning from Kutu, and we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 9-2 Vikings. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Woodstock will send up its 4, 5, 6 hitters, McGregor, O'Brien, and Morissette, to face Gavin O'Brien, the starter for East Lyme. Has been cruising along, gave up a single run in the first and third, but has settled in nicely as he faces the middle of the Woodstock order.
Centaurs, left fielder, number 10,
McGregor
Marcus
struck
McGregor.
out in his first at bat, grounded out 4 unassisted to Biggs in his second at bat. Action in the Viking bullpen, as O'Brien still has good velocity, strike 1. A 1 pitch from O'Brien. Breaking ball down, 1-1.
Okay, so I'm going to say hi to my son, Drew, who's watching this in Wyoming right now. He's out in Yellowstone. I just got a text. So, hey, Drew, hope you're having a good vacation.
Good spot to be. Hard ground ball up the middle, base hit. McGregor singles past the diving Elmer. Leadoff hitter on for Woodstock. Yellowstone, beautiful place.
Yeah, life is good. To be Drew Joyce.
The designated hitter, number 15, Riley O'Brien.
Getting a stink eye from Mike tomorrow. I'm sensing he doesn't like Yellowstone National Park as a location, or is he not a fan of the Dutton Ranch and the TV show? We are talking about the actual place, Mike. It's not a fictitious place. It's a beautiful place with hot springs and wild bison and lots of animals. Too cold could die grizzly bears. That's true. It's true. It is. You could die of a grizzly bear. 1-1 pitch upcoming to Riley O'Brien. 1 for 2 on the day with a single. Time is called.
Rightly so.
One pitch from O'Brien. Fastball for strike 2.
Good spot. O'Brien's stuff still sharp. Throwing in. Not doing too much. Throwing to the score.
One-two pitch from O'Brien. Breaking ball grounded up the middle. Biggs, Fields, steps on second. Throws to Sherwood for the double play. And I'll tell you right now, Blake Biggs has put on a clinic on how to play second base today.
Oh. He's been like that all tournament. I think that's about the 6th or 7th double play that East Lyme has
Second
turned.
baseman, number 4, Carter Morissette.
That was a hard bounce. The short hop.
I love how he attacked it, though. He came after it. Morissette, 0 for 2, ground out to second, and a pop up to second. He takes a curveball for strike 1 from O'Brien. 0-1 pitch, upcoming. Another breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, strike 2. O'Brien quickly on top here, 0-2.
Living low in the zone. Never get hurt. Those balls don't leave the yard.
Fastball down, just misses. 1-2. One-two pitch from O'Brien. Lined off of his glove. Big hop to Elmer. And there's your routine 1-6-3 self-defense play to end the sixth inning. 9-2, everything going the Vikings' way. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
9-2 East Lyme.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
You can purchase a digital download of tonight's game or any of our live broadcasts at Vimeo On Demand. For details, head to vimeo.com/ondemand/GameDayCT.
Sun setting, lights are on here at Dodd Stadium, and the lights are dimming for the chances of the Woodstock Academy Centaurs as we head to the top of the seventh. 9-2 East Lyme on top, and they'll send Owen Elmer, Quinn Kaloy, and Liam Cochran to the bat. Freshman Logan Akutu still in the ball game for Woodstock.
Owen Elmer.
Elmer, who just made the nice play off the deflection from O'Brien, takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Elmer tripled to clear the bases in the first, really the tone setter for the Vikings today. He's also lined out and grounded out. Breaking ball for a strike, and I love this kid pounding his own.
I was thinking the same thing, Case. No nonsense here.
Popped up, foul, chasing it, and making the play, running it down, is Mathewson at third base for the first out.
Good catch. Not an easy play there. How about the catcher running all the way down?
The catcher, number 12, Quinn
Speaking of
Killoy.
catchers, the East Lyme catcher, Quinn Kaloy, in. He singled in and drove in a run, got on an error and scored in the third, and then flew out in the fifth. Chopper back to the mound. Kotu's going to just take it himself, sprint over, tag the bag for the second out. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Liam Cochran, who is 2 for 3 on the day.
Left fielder, number 2.
Boy, nothing
Liam
ingratiates
Cochran.
yourself with your teammates, your upper class teammates, if you're a freshman, and come out and just throw outs.
This kid may have pitched himself into the mix here in the postseason, though.
Absolutely. I like this young man.
If you're going to win a state championship, you're going to need 5 pitchers. You can't do it. Now, you can do it with 4, but only if you are really, really fortunate. Strike 1 to Cochran. But you're going to need probably 4 guys minimum, 5 guys more likely.
Oh, absolutely. Especially around that quarterfinal is when you're going to really, rely on some of those guys that are a little lower on the depth chart.
Got to have the recognition and courage when you're up 8-1 in the fourth to go try to steal some innings from a guy like Kotu, because you got to save your Caden Murphys and your Brady Ericksons. You got to save them for semifinals and final action. Someone's going to have to win a game. Line into center field off the end of the bat, sinking and drops in for a hit. Cochran is 3 for 4 on the day, another single, and that'll bring up Blake Biggs, who is 2 for 2, a double single and a hit by pitch.
The second baseman, number 5, Blake Biggs.
again, Case, the lower half of this East Lyme lineup is just doing damage in the field at the plate.
Five for 6, the 8-9 hitters of East Lyme right now.
The Clemson bound. Blake Biggs. Gonna be a Tiger.
Got a great name for it.
Absolutely. We love alliterative names.
The Clemson Tigers, the LSU ground ball to short. And out at second will take us to the bottom of the 7th. One more chance for Woodstock. 9-2 Vikings. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
Number 9, senior Kevin Filowich.
As we head to the bottom of the 7th, East Lyme is going to send senior Kevin Filwich onto the mound. 6 great innings from Gavin O'Brien. And Filwich will come in to face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Woodstock, Lamarche, Murphy, and Graham.
Entering the game to play third base, moving from pitcher to third, number 11, Gavin O'Brien.
O'Brien will move over to third base. Final line for O'Brien: 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, an efficient 6 innings. He leaves with a 9-2 lead, and Filwich, the senior, with an opportunity to close it out here for the Vikings.
The thing about O'Brien's outing, too, is he got better as the game went on.
I go back to the first inning, and Brady Erickson hitting that ball right on the button, and Elmer and Biggs turning the 6-4-3 double play. Even though they had the big lead of 6 runs, he had given up the double and the single right off the rip. If Erickson, gaps one there, which he is so capable of, maybe it's a different start to the ball game. And so the Vikings defense was fabulous today. Actually, the defense for both teams really good today.
Yeah. I mean, Woodstock has nothing to be upset about defensively. I mean, East Lyme just hit.
Kean Lamarche steps in. Filwich inside, ball 1.
Big, strong kid here, Lamarche. Takes a healthy hack.
In honor of Mike DeMauro, strike 1. I'm going to say that if the New London athletic director had a specialty sandwich made for him at lunch, it would be the Filwich. 1-1 pitch. Lined into the gap and over the head of the left fielder, Cochran, and into second with a stand-up double is Lamarche. That'll bring up senior center fielder Caden Murphy.
The center fielder, number 3, Caden Murphy.
Filwich deals to Murphy. Fastball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Killoy. Fastball on outside part of the plate, strike 1. 1-1 pitch. Just down, 2-1.
That's where you want to live. Good pitch. Looking for something middle in here, 2-1. Get that fastball again, maybe.
Ground ball chopped over to second. Biggs up with it. Throws over to Sherwood for the out that retires Murphy. Over to third goes LaMarche. And with one out, the catcher, Tanner Graham, will step to the plate. Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Freshman Caleb Simino will come in and grab an at-bat. Seeing as I can do stream of consciousness, linking everything together, Blake Biggs going to Clemson. We like alliterative names. Alliterative names, Brady Babineau, shortstop for Gonzales, Louisiana, coached by Wade Simino. Caleb Simino now to plate for Woodstock Academy. 6 degrees of separation. Yep, Brady Babineau, great shortstop, played at LSU, played for Gonzales, and had one of the most attractive sisters I had ever encountered. Ground ball up the middle. Elmer ranges,
nice
plays. Can he make the play at first? Sherwood can't handle it, and Simino will be safe. We'll call that a single for Simino and an RBI. Would have been a great play if Sherwood could have picked it. Elmer ranged all the way behind the bag. Throw was to the outside, and Sherwood couldn't quite get it, and that'll bring up shortstop Max Karate.
Impressive play, too. Considering that he's a taller shortstop, and able to show some range there.
Strike on the outside part of the plate.
Those Gonzales, Louisiana teams, Case, were loaded.
Todd Landry,
oh yeah,
great LSU player as well. They were a feeder system for LSU.
Chris DeMoy.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing against them. Holy moly, were they good.
Lined, leaping grab by Biggs. Just another in the long line of great plays that Blake Biggs has made at second base.
Blake has been throwing the glove.
Reminds me of another charismatic second baseman who could throw the leather around.
There is no way you ever jumped that high in your life.
Peter Wappy doesn't think I ever jumped that high in my life. I have proof that I, in fact, did jump that high against the aforementioned Gonzales, Louisiana. Waterford great Mike Susie gave up a vicious line drive. I jumped that high, and it hit me on my wrist, and I ended up in the emergency room. Filwich pounds the strike zone with a fastball. Eric Mathewson, 3 for 3 with 3 singles on the day. He's the last chance here for Woodstock as they trail 9-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 pitch from Filwich. Breaking ball just on the outside, maybe an inch or two off the plate, 2-1.
That's a great pitch right there.
That, of course, happened in Binghamton, New York. I had to spend the night in a nice Binghamton emergency room. 2-1 pitch from Filwich. Lined up the middle, base hit, and Eric Mathewson is 4 for 4 today with 4 singles.
Okay, so this is Woodstock. They just will not go away. They're gonna hang around. They're gonna scrap. They're gonna fight. Now they got their 3-hitter up.
So, Casey, I guess the lesson is what I should have said. There's no way you ever jump that high without ending up in the emergency room.
100%. It taught me at a young age that jumping high is stupid. Jumping high can only lead to bad things.
They made a movie about that case.
If they said I can't jump and I shouldn't try. That's what the title of the movie should have been.
Right.
You shouldn't try. Erickson takes the ball inside on the breaking ball, 1-0.
Casey Hoyle.
The 1-0 pitch to Erickson. Fastball down, 2-0. Erickson takes a strike on the inside part of the plate, 2-1.
Those Gonzales, Louisiana teams, though, Casey, they were Connie Mack teams, though, right? They weren't considered Legion teams.
That is correct. Drilled, Biggs, big hop, and that'll do it. Erickson grounds out, and the East Lyme Vikings are your 2023 ECC baseball champions. Congratulations, Jack Biggs and all of the Vikings. 9-3 over Woodstock Academy. You're going to want to tune in to all of our social media at Game Day CT later on for interviews with Biggs and some of the Vikings. And Game Day's championship week has come to a conclusion. Tennis, lacrosse, and now baseball. A little bit of everything. It's been a great week. Capped off here at Dodd. So thank you, Jeff, for joining us today. And another victory here. I know the Joyce family will rejoice in a celebration tonight as the boys are a part of this organization that wins yet another ECC championship.
Yeah, thanks, Case. It was good fun, and hope to be back here again.
We'll do it again next year. For all the camera crew, Peter Wappy and the guys, thank you very much for tuning in to Game Day action. East Lyme 9-3 over Woodstock. Thank you for watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to direct your attention to home plate, where ECC Baseball Commissioner Phil Orby is here to present the East Lyme Vikings and coach Jack Biggs the ECC Championship plaque. And your tournament most outstanding player goes to East Lyme's Gavin O'Brien. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 champion, East Lyme Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, the C uniforms would appreciate if you would send trash into the proper receptacles on your way out of the stadium. On behalf of the ECC and Dodd Stadium, thank you for joining us here at Dodd and making the 2023 tournament a successful endeavor. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Good luck to both teams.